Hello, everyone. Welcome to the blog of the Wizarding World Tabletop campaign. This is blog number 9 of season 9. And a lot of super interesting things happen. So, what do you guys want to talk about first?
How about the head?
Huh.
Yeah, let's get that off the table. So Hark, the whole losing their head thing. You can't really plan somebody helping somebody. Well, I guess you can with one, but so was it always like if somebody was to try to help Rox's character that they would lose their head, or was it
Yes.
just okay?
If anyone tried to, then yes. If nobody tried to, then Roxana would have just been taken away and nobody would have lost their head.
Okay, that was a very
So you were. So the irony is, you get penalized if you're trying to help
Help
someone.
them.
The
Yeah.
irony is,
Would they have been able to roll out of it if they would have rolled high enough?
you would have to roll really high.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I assumed. It was weird because like I I thought that this temple was going to be a lot more like dangerous per se. Like it was more lighthearted tricks. I mean, there were the wisps that could have killed us if we would have
Yeah.
taken long enough. I think the most dangerous thing was the time. And so it became this like, okay, we can't explore every little nook and cranny. We kind of just have to be a little bit reckless to get
Yeah,
here
that's
fast.
so. In
Um,
the, I have a question. In the first part of the temple, the map you gave us, was there anything else on the multiple like spaces there were? Because we just went straight to the S.
No. So every single door gave you an electric shock, and you had to go to that one door to not
Okay,
get an electrical shock. So you
gotcha.
did need the map to know which door it was, unless you really wanted to like disrupt every single one, which would have taken up time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
How much time did we have?
yeah. How much time do we have before it was
2 hours.
oh,
Oh,
so we were
Two
kind of close,
hours.
guys.
You
we
were cutting
got
it close.
close.
The one trap that you'd solved, but it wasn't the way it was intended to be solved, but you still got around it, was the staircase one that brought you back upstairs.
Uh huh.
So the idea is, you get to the last step, it teleports you back going up the stairs at the top of the step. So you're facing backwards from whence you came.
Oh,
So if you actually walk down the stairs backwards,
Mm.
you would have been
Mm.
able to get past
oh,
it. So
that's
that was
cool.
the trick. But you flew over it, which was legit as well, a legit way to do it. And I also designed things so that you could disarm certain parts of the dungeon, but if you did, then you might have like stopped yourselves from proceeding
Yeah, like
to the dungeon. So you couldn't just disarm everything, because that would have been a problem if you did.
when we
Yeah.
entered the, well, for entering, we almost got ourselves out. Like, oh,
Yeah,
it doesn't
Yeah, we
work.
need that guy to come back and restore the magic for us to get in there.
yeah. And he wasn't going to do it every single time. So if you kept dispelling it, then you guys would have just not been able to go into the temple, and you would not have been able to get the hoop. The hoop
And
would have just been locked out for you.
I guess another question I have is okay, let's say Jordan were to, because a lot of it was threes. Did you have to change anything for knowing that Jordan wasn't going to make it? Or if Jordan would have made it, would things have turned to fours?
The temple itself is enchanted such that it takes in consideration how many people enter into it.
oh, okay.
And specific puzzles like that one adjusts for how many bodies physically are there.
Hmm.
So that's why you ended up with the three thrones. I'm assuming if there was a fourth throne, then there would be another sense, like the sense of touch, maybe. Like you could brush up against something, but you wouldn't be able to feel anything,
Okay.
which might be a disadvantage if like you're hurt but you're not feeling pain.
You don't know it,
So
yeah.
things like that. You don't know that you're hurt, so
Aside from if I had rolled higher for the astral projection to pick up the key, was there another obvious way to get the key if we were all standing on pressure plates?
not that I know of. The astral projection was a solution, um, And like I said, the dungeon adjusts itself depending on how many people are there. So the fact that there were exactly 3 plates there was because there were exactly 3 people there, and you would have had to come up with a creative way to solve the puzzle. And the rock, sticking the rock where the door was sliding, was a creative way
Yeah.
to solve it. The astral projection was another way if you had rolled high enough to be able to pick up the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose we could have even transfigured the dagger into like a long sword, so that when
Correct.
it fell in and the door shut, it would have at least kept it
Yeah.
pried open that we could have pulled it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were gonna make more use of the blacksmith,
Yeah.
because you could have drawn really anything, and he would have just made silver versions of that. So
Yeah.
you could have come up with some creative things with that. It's just that whatever the blacksmith creates disappears with the dungeon.
I think he was there to waste your time too. If you get greedy
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I want all this silver stuff, and you create it all, and then
It just disappears. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking at first, because me and Clef were talking about things we should make, but then I was like, we don't like the time, and then you were making sure to remind us about time quite frequently. So I'm like, I think we need to hurry. Like,
Yeah,
as much silver stuff as I want, we need to hurry.
Yeah.
I thought that the pressure plates reminded me of a Mario Party mini game. I don't know if any of you played the newest one on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to stand on different plates so people can get keys and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I really like the temple. It was really
The
fun.
temple was super fun and creative. I do
Yeah.
have a question. Okay, so let's say Levi did get his half wish. Would the thing been able to bring us the boar and maybe get us in second place?
Yeah. You could have used your wish for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an option.
Okay.
But then, yeah, and if you wanted the full wish, I guess you would have had to legitimately take his hat, and then you would have just smelled really bad for the rest of your life, basically.
I was just gonna say that's why I was doing half wish, because then maybe we won't have to take his hat and smell. Like maybe he could just grant it for us.
Yeah. I think getting the boar was a decent half wish. Like getting the boar, or maybe he would have given you half the boar.
But instead, guys, we got a case full of snakes. So
Hey,
That's true. You
that's
won.
good pick.
I was just worried, like, I didn't want to push our luck too much because I felt like, okay, we got what obviously fate was leading us to get was the hoop, which now makes me think, like, if fate wanted us to get that one hoop, like, maybe we are supposed to, like, actually us collect them all.
Yeah, because
But
I was
didn't
gonna say this to Levi, but I forgot that. Well, it appears fate really is in our favor because we did find the 100 in a million chances of finding the
Uh-huh.
temple.
Yes. Had you been able to get first place, you would have won the prize, which is a chance to go talk to several ministers of magic from around the world at this junior summit, or this junior thing, which I think would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
But now Horned Serpent is going, so if there's anything
Chance
specific,
is going.
I'm sorry.
Chance is going, right?
No.
No, Chance is
No.
Pukwudgie.
I'm glad Tritessa's getting this opportunity because I feel like from what we know, she has a lot. She probably wants to stay at that.
Mm-hmm. She's got a very strong opinion about a lot of things.
I'm curious what Nico's gonna want to say though.
I don't know. That's a good point. Maybe you should talk to him about it.
I think I will.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
we-
have a lot of like political views that he wants to push.
We need someone to represent Chance. Chance, because he did really well, and like being shown out of so many schools when he's
Yeah,
this good.
that was the problem is with Horned Serpent. There's nobody really connected to Levi on that team, so there's nobody I would really talk to
No,
about.
I mean all of our partners, like Chesa is in Pukwudgie, Finn is in Pukwudgie, Naila is in Pukwudgie. The only
Chance,
real
yeah.
the
Ayika.
only real connection we have with Horned Serpent is Ayika.
And Nico to an extent.
Oh, and Nico,
And
yeah.
Toby,
And Toby.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
like Rock. I'm the only one that doesn't. You guys should all have somebody on that team. I'm the only one that, because Tritessa's from my school, but we're not really friends. So
I think that now that Juan has a chest full of spring snakes, Maybe that could be your Christmas gift to Ivan. Merry Christmas.
Here,
Yes.
have
Or
your-
Aika. I think Aika would appreciate it.
Oh, I think I would
Hey,
appreciate.
we all get one of those snakes. We all said we all get one thing.
Little spring snakes. You can put it in like a jar, peanut butter jar or
Yeah.
something. Oh, yum.
Yeah, that little thing. I was really glad that like only one time we butchered one of Juan's spell because that is the thing that FYI when we were making our characters, we will all like okay, so Levi should focus on like the physical stuff because we all suck at it, and like Al is going to be our healer. He has his plans and that. Roxana is gonna be our rogue because she's the sneaky one, the stealth that. And one, the three of them, they said to me, "Oh well, Juan will have to do anything magical," and I was like, "Sorry, what? Everything?" And yeah, you'll be our magical guy. You have to take care of everything.
We're a bunch of wizards and witches, but you'll be the magic person.
You'll be the magic person.
Well, to be fair, Al's got magic too. He
He
just
does.
Yeah, but it's
more
very
specific.
different. It's
More
very
specific,
different.
yeah.
Playing as Juan, like as many spells as he has, like I'm so used to what Al has and like thinking what can Al do that it's like you have to change your mindset. And I think the one area that if it comes back and bites us, the one area we don't have a lot of magic ability between any of us is mind.
Yeah, mind is the one we like.
My mind is actually my second best.
But you don't have any spells that you utilize with it that much, do you?
I have confusion. I have all the mind spells I can get so far.
Why
Oh,
are you not using these?
Oh, because Levi's got mage boots.
Yeah, Levi has made food.
Tritessa is by far the strongest mind school
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
She's very good at those.
I think when I cast mine, it's like a plus. It's like my second highest. My charms is +6, I think, and then my mind is
Wait.
+5.
Your charm is +6. That
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Whoa. I really took serious that you're the magic type, huh?
Yeah, I don't do magic. It's not a
Because
Levi
I
thing.
actually forgot to add my wand bonuses to every spell I casted at least.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I get most of my pluses. So, is the wand. There was another question I had about the temple.
My personal favorite was the timer.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. How long were you gonna let us just do that for? Just until forever?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, all right, 5 minutes pass. All right, 10 minutes pass. All right. 20
Yeah. I
minutes
guess when we're
pass.
at like an hour and a half, my father would be like, "All right, I'll stop pushing the button."
I mean, eventually Al would have helped Juan.
You know, just holding down Rox's body.
What would have happened if we didn't like finish in time?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you didn't finish in time, then the entire temple would have disappeared along with you in it, and then I would have had to figure out how to deal with that.
Oh.
The temple would have disappeared with you in it, and then you would have been separated from Roxana.
And
Oh,
the
that would
rest,
have been tough.
that would be so cool. I'm like, I kind of wish we didn't finish it because imagine the social repercussions that
Yeah.
this tournament was. The last one, it was so dangerous. They killed a kid. They lost someone. It was super dangerous.
Yeah.
And now we lost 3 kids. We don't know what
Yeah.
they are. Like
Yeah.
they didn't knew that we were in the.
Session number 10 would have been very different. So instead of having, oh, let's have a Christmas party and oh, let's do X, Y, and Z, the entire session would be the other Zodiac champions trying to find the missing 3 kids.
Yeah, and us in the temple, like you have some.
You're stuck in the
heart left?
temple.
Thank you.
Oh, so the Anna Silva's thing about connect the dots, I don't think that ever came up. So is that still something in the future, or? No. Because the definitely pick the shortest one came up.
So
Yeah, she said pick the short one. You want
And
the
then
short one.
yes, But the
Connected
connected
dots could
dots.
be tied to the zodiac because the constellations are like stars, like
And
dots.
dots.
But I don't know what that means. I'm not smart enough to figure that one out, guys. You guys,
I
this is where
mean,
I'm gonna need
when
you.
when Levi went to get us, and the door had all of that, I, as a player, was like, "Oh, Levi, why are you so?" And just grabbed
I
the
know.
little and
I
all.
overthought it. I was overthinking it so hardcore, guys. I was nervous. I was like, and then
Wait,
what if
that's
I would have went in there by myself? I'd have just pushed that button for the rest of eternity.
yeah, probably.
I was particularly looking forward to this session because I we don't get to do dungeon delves in this really in any of my campaigns. We hardly are able to do dungeon delves because our my style of DMing is more like the day-to-day storytelling. So since I was happy that you guys chose to go to the temple, because if you hadn't gone to the temple, then again this session would have been completely different. This session would have all just been trying to catch this invisible pig out in the rainforest, which would have been really interesting too. But yeah, I like that I was able to do a dungeon delve with you guys, and it sounded like you guys had fun
Oh,
and
It
it
yeah.
was
was,
So
entertaining.
fun. I
And
mean, I
go ahead.
I want to see fan art of like Levi holding his head talking to Roxana, like, "Oh!"
Yes. And the key is like Saucy Perere. I'll actually send you some YouTube videos because there's some entertaining like cartoons of Saucy Perere as a character. He's mischievous, but he's not. I guess in many interpretations, he's not malicious.
Mhm.
So he's not trying to kill you. He's just trying to be entertaining and
Yeah,
just
he's
having fun
having
with
fun.
Yeah,
you.
he didn't
And
try to actually harm us, like, well, the will of wisp, but
that was for the will-o-wisp. If we didn't have the dispel, was there a different way to shut it off, or is there a way we overlooked?
you could have just like destroyed it physically.
Oh,
You just
okay.
you could have just attacked it,
Smash
See,
and it
sometimes
would.
we got to go the Finn route, guys, and just smash
Sometimes you
things.
can, yeah. Smashing it was a legit solution as well.
I was just planning on running away.
But yeah, but then you'd have all these wisps. If you ever had to go back to that room again, you'd have all these wisps there.
Yeah.
So,
So, okay.
and then the thing with the timer, the sand timer, it's just one of those things where you gotta know whose temple it is. Like this is a guy who likes to mess with your head, and he doesn't do anything like to hurt you or is malicious. He just likes to mess with you. So
Yeah.
once you figure that out, then you're like, maybe we should just let the timer run out and see what happens.
I thought we had to get the sand to stop somehow, like in a movie, like stop at one, like or stop at two.
Yeah, I thought that we
No,
had
I thought we had to get the sand to stop some way. So that's why I kept pushing it and pushing. I was like, how do we get the sand to stop going?
I thought maybe the statue had to be in a position like put the other hand like the other or something like that. But then when Al said we should just let it run out, I thought, yeah, that thing has been just playing with us and ooh fart get sucked up into the bus.
Yes.
I know, yeah, I cut your head, but you're still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we should probably let it go run out.
How about the irony that the third pressure plate was like literally in the last 4 squares we discovered?
didn't-
Yeah, that we didn't check. That was the thing, is like it was just a little square. I was for sure it was a dead end. And I was like, okay, two of us stand on a pressure point, the other one gets the grate.
No, when you suggested that, I was like 90% sure there was another one, but I was like, I could be wrong. And I wanted to try, like, I was like, maybe conjuring something on it will help, but
Mm.
I mean, I figured not, but I was like, we can't not try it with the time
Oh,
constraint.
definitely not. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to
no.
try everything.
So that was fun. You know, I did expect, like, as soon as like I went over, I was like, okay, there's gonna be like a Finn scene. We're gonna get to hash it out. But I thought it would take, I didn't expect him to come out the back going like, you know, I was stupid. I thought he'd say something and then I'd have a go at him and then he'd like come to and be like, but obviously he's been thinking a lot about it. And I mean it makes sense since the Albion conversation and whatnot. So yeah, lots of growing. And everyone's scared about the end of the games coming, I think, as well. Because everyone's going to go their separate ways and they don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah.
I think it was a cool opportunity to be able to bring Roxana and Albion's body out of the dungeon
Yeah.
because it gives us a chance to see what the other teams are doing. Because otherwise, you would have come back and just not really had that insight. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool that you at least ran into the other two and just see what they're up to and how they're coping, or in the Pukwudgie's sense, not coping with the potions
Yeah.
that was given to them. So
One thing I completely forgot to do is, as I was like walking with Finn, I was actually going to tell him that it was water and that I was just fucking with them.
Oh no, don't. No, I think
No, we'll leave it.
even after the event is over, I say never tell them.
Oh my God.
Even after,
No,
because
that's
they're gonna
better.
be like,
I'll leave it.
they're all gonna think we're gonna wake up in our beds in 20 years and end up with enlarged feet and like all these other random things.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, that is so much better. We'll do that. Sticking with it.
Yeah, I feel like if you ever like see any of them again, like after a few years, you'd be like, so has that potion from the Zodiac games kicked in yet? Like so,
Like especially like if the female members ever have a baby and they get like the swollen ankles thing, they're like, oh, Roxana's potion.
Yes. That's what it did.
That's what it did. Finally, it's
That's cool.
happened.
Yeah. I'm really glad, but like you said, I'm really glad you had that moment with Finn. I
Yeah.
think that was a long time coming. It was something that I know that as a player you really wanted to see, and I like how that arc took its time.
Yeah. Because I didn't want it to be instantaneous either, because when I originally thought of Finn, I was like, he hates her so much. Like, that this is his character concept. He is my frenemy. Well, my enemy in school.
Right.
So it's like, for him to get over that would be a thing. So, and to take a while. And I do think I probably attribute that a lot to Albion, because I do think Albion helped him a lot. Like what I say all the time, where Albion and Finn kind of balance each other out.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, Albion definitely has a huge influence, a positive influence on Finn, because he is a gentle giant, but he has some anger management issues, and he definitely has a hard time letting go of a grudge.
Yeah.
So those are like his two major flaws.
Yeah.
And I think he has a lot of respect for Albion, and Albion is so like calculated and level-headed, and I think that is a huge reason why he gravitated towards him, just because he wants to be more like Albion.
Yes.
In that respect. So
it's funny because the more we play, the more Finn actually is like Alec in a way. Like it
I can see that. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I didn't notice it until like in the more recent sessions, but especially in this one, like that regret and finally going like, okay.
Yeah.
I was an idiot. Like
that's super ironic because they do not like each other.
Yeah.
And maybe the reason why they clash so much is because they're essentially the same person. Almost.
Because like
they're almost exactly the same person.
They both have like this core thing of not letting go. Finn can't let go of his anger, but Alec can't let go of his father.
Of his father. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and they're both like super loyal and
super loyal.
Yeah.
I think Alec takes it at a slightly more extreme than Finn does.
Yes, a
but
lot more.
Totally get what you're saying.
Like, so. I feel like to an extent, Finn at least questioned himself and grew.
Yeah. But
by the time Alec did that, it was already too late. And he already went way too far.
Yep. 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of interesting, like, and it makes sense because they often say, like, the people who hate each other most are actually really alike. So, like, it's interesting like that.
Opposites attract.
Yeah.
That's, there's something to that. Opposites do attract.
That is a true psychological thing. And another thing, like the robes changing. So, like, was that just a direct result of Roxana running to Naila, or?
Well, a lot of things happen in that scene.
Yeah.
not just running towards Naila. There are a lot of things that happen in that scene.
Mm.
I'm keeping things very vague
Yeah.
and open to interpretation on purpose. So I am purposely not like clarifying like whether or not the reason the robes change is because of Roxana doing things or what.
Yeah.
Because I want the PCs to actually think on that
Yeah.
and interpret that how they will. So
yeah, because like I kind of have the same opinion as Roxy had, where it was like, you know, it's not because I'm smarter, because I know I'm not smarter than Albion. It's what I believe personally and what I did personally that did it. Or even more interestingly, because it's I don't know if it would work this way because I think it's connected to the soul, but what if Albion did something like where he is, and that
true,
actually
where he
caused
is,
the
maybe
road
that
to change.
actually caused.
Yeah, so it's like, what
yeah,
happened?
I encourage you guys to discuss that and tell me how you interpret it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I purposely am not clarifying it one way or another.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So the thing with Al finding out about Juan's bruises and stuff, because that woke me up in the middle of the night one day. I was sleeping and I sat up out of my bed like the Undertaker, and I was like, Al would know Juan's being abused. So I wrote AJ. It was like, you need to figure out how to get this.
Yeah, it was like middle of the night. I remember waking up to it. I was like, that was sent at like 4 a.m.
I'm telling you, it woke me up in the middle of the night. And I was like, I need to tell AJ this because
that's right. I also
it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And being in each other's bodies gives us all opportunities to learn a little bit about each other that we wouldn't see. Like, especially if you're trying to hide something. Like the whole thing with Levi forcing out like a New York or New Jersey accent is something you guys all kind of know now, because naturally Juan speaking, it's just British, like that, or English. That's how he speaks, enunciated English. And so I was like, Al would totally know Juan has at least these markings. He might not know why, but he needs to bring it up.
No, that makes perfect sense. I'm glad you did.
Well, and from a personal standpoint, that's something I deal with at my job whenever students come in. So that was, I mean, I've had that experience of, I know students that don't want you to do anything. They don't want you to report it because they're worried. They're scared of, well, whatever could happen could be worse. And trying to get them to see that that's not okay, though. Like, there are people and organizations that can help.
Yeah.
The second Levi finds out about it, he's calling his dad, and some lawyer stuff is about to happen. All right, so
no one doesn't know yet.
And Al's not going to say anything, but he probably will make it a point to check in with Juan more often.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, on that note, Christmas at Juan's house.
Christmas at my house.
Yes.
Christmas, you get to meet his whole family, his mom, you get to meet Yvonne, you get to meet all those people. That would be wonderful.
That is so fun.
Rox and Al now know, so we all know how hot-headed Rox is, so she might just try to fight him like the second she sees him.
Yeah.
So start thinking about who Juan has to figure out who he's inviting.
He's inviting his friends and Finn. He has that because he already said to Finn that he would invite.
He did already. Okay.
So he has like 4 people in mind. Naila, but he doesn't know. I'm not sure. That's gonna be something I have to think about.
Yeah, think about who you're inviting.
But now the final thing of the session, that debate of rebuilding the masquerade, you would say. I don't know what to think about it. Like,
you're talking about, what are you talking about?
The secrecy.
The statute of secrecy. Yeah, the movement. Yeah, a lot of news has been pushing to nullify the statute of secrecy. What are your thoughts?
From the beginning of the campaign, it seems like that's kind of going to be like the big deal of our campaign. Like, I don't know if, because it's been slowly sprinkled in, and then eventually we're going to move into adulthood where this might start to be more important to us.
A war. Someone might want.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? But Levi's opinions right now are he's for letting Muggles know about it and stuff like that. And he thinks like if we could show people like, hey, you don't have to be scared of this and stuff like that, it'll be fine. And he doesn't think the way that if there isn't a way to tell all the Muggles, there's a way that we can at least approve on it, because so far we've had like two Dark Lord wizards like want to take over the entire planet because of these Muggles who don't know about us. So
From my standpoint, I haven't really dove into Al's thinking, but from a PC, like the whole what's the spell where they take away the memory?
Obliviate.
Obliviate spell. So if the Statue of Secrecy is kept in place, the Obliviate spell is what is used to kind of help enforce it. However, if it's taken away, we saw whenever Tritessa's parents were like kind of the secrecy was taken away, and then that had to be used to then kind of control the problems that cause from it being taken away. So it's like the Obliviate spells being used either way. So I think from my perspective, if the Statue of Secrecy stays in place, wizards need to be held more responsible, because they tell someone it's the Muggles that are affected. They have to go through the Obliviate. I feel like
Yeah, the wizards
yeah,
are the ones that have to be.
they need to be held responsible for maybe being careless with the secret.
So we need obliviation control laws.
Yeah.
That's what
yes.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Obliviation control.
I think Obliviate either way isn't. We're seeing it's not. It's good, but it has such bad side effects. So there needs to be another way to hold the wizards accountable, so that Obliviate doesn't have to be used as frequently.
Obliviate doesn't erase memories, wizards do.
So you don't believe that the ends justify the means for the greater good?
Yes.
Greater good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Obliviate needs to go away. Whether the secrecy stays in place or not, I think wizards have too much, well, okay, we let it out, let's do this to the Muggles. They're not being held accountable. The Muggles are paying the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you established like episode 1 that it is not good for Muggles to be exposed to this. Like you gave examples of like complete memory loss, cancer, to even up to death, things like that. That
Insanity.
This spell definitely has really bad effects on Muggles. And yeah, like AJ said, they just kind of willy nilly, like, oh, this wizard told this person, Olivier,
Yeah. From my point of view, like me as a person, I don't think it's a good idea because, I mean, they haven't showed us like a magic that has a power equivalent to something that normal muggles can do with bombs or chemical weapons. And if and we humans like to kill each other just because we have some kind of difference. But if we in the moment are shown like something that has so much of a difference, like people that can kill with words, definitely they're going to, maybe not, well, maybe not everyone, but some people are going to see them as the enemy. And
Yeah, one thing I should point out is while the killing curse in and of itself is terrible, it's awful, it's like the ultimate unforgivable curse. It's one target.
yeah,
Single target killing, whereas you have like a nuclear bomb. That's
city.
thousands and thousands and thousands. So just putting it out there.
And like they say, I mean, yeah, speaking is fast, but pressing a trigger is faster. Like guns are faster than spells. If we go in an all-out war, like wizards versus muggles, in an all-out war today, I don't think that wizards can win. They will need to hide again, and it would be like a witch hunt over again.
But that being said, I mean, wizards and witches could learn the Muggle technology, and at that point have both at their disposal.
Yeah, that's also true. Just I don't know, and like there's also canon that there are so few wizards compared to muggles, so few that again in an all-out war
Mhm.
they have numbers.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a way that if they came together, that could change. Who knows?
Yeah,
like
but-
maybe if Muggles know, and then like
Well,
there's
from what AJ just said, they could learn the technology, but if you remember from Tritessa's story, in a small like enclosed space, they tried to mix the two together, and it failed miserably.
Super.
Now, you could say, well, that's just one instance. Sure, but
Yeah, like they can't just say to the entire world like that, because the fact that there's going to be chaos, it's a given.
one of Tritessa's favorite things that I think, one of my favorite things Tritessa said at the end of her story was, no magic is powerful enough to change human nature.
Yeah. Yep.
So, again, just to take that into consideration.
Yeah, because as a player, like I know it's probably not good to mix them, but Levi definitely think because he's only experienced positive mixture of
Mhm.
Muggles and wizards, and so to him, it's like it's no big deal. Like everybody can love each other, like my dads do, or like I'm a wizard and my best friend is a Muggle. Like there's a way we could all like work together. And so that's how come as Levi, I've been playing it pretty strong that he's for mixing the Muggles and the Wizard race. But as Brendan, I know that could easily lead to World War Wizard. Who knows?
World War Wizard. World War Wizard.
Be bad.
Okay. World
Very
Wizard
bad.
War. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the World Wizard War. That would be interesting.
Oh no! I gave him an idea, guys. We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Act 2 is just gonna be like an apocalyptic world where like this
Oh,
wizard war.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, Al's robes.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
curious.
yeah.
So, did the robes change because Roxy in Al's body helped Naila, or did they change because of Al? Like, just he's been doing
Doing
stuff as well?
something in the temple.
So to answer that question, I did record privately with Jordan earlier this week, so you will be able to see what happens to Roxana in Albion's body when she pops over to Finn's. And I had a mini vlog with Jordan afterwards, and she asked me the exact same thing. And my response to her was, I am leaving that open-ended on purpose.
Oh.
I'm purposely leaving that open-ended for your interpretation of what that means.
I think it was Al because I don't know. I feel like, if somebody else gets you a higher robe, that could be a form of dishonor, which would make it white, in my opinion. Because it's kind of like cheating in a way. Like, go into my body, be a super great wizard, and give me gold. So when I come back in it, I'm gold. Like.
When
So
she
there
was,
is like.
she was still using Al's abilities.
Yeah.
Like his magical prowess, but it was like her
knowledge.
thoughts that had done it,
Yeah. And well, Al did some pretty intelligent and good decisions and all of that
Maybe,
inside the temple.
maybe the robes are kind of connected to your soul, and it was you doing all the good things in the temple that did it, and it wasn't quite your body. It's not like the robes are connected to like your body, like, it cast this spell, so it was you're orange now. Maybe it is like in a way connected to your soul and the temple, the stuff you did in the temple, especially with being nice to the guy and stuff. And you were the one who suggests like, hey, like we're not here for your gold. We're just here to like, help. And then like, and then like because of you, he pretty much, okay, let's make a trade. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you helped us get through the whole temple. So maybe it was the whole temple diving that did it and not necessarily what Rocks did. It was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a combination of
Both.
two.
And another thing, the fact that Rox was pulled out of the temple, was it because Jordan couldn't be in this episode, or that was your plan all along?
No, if Jordan was able to participate in the episode, I would have not have her disappear, and she would have gone through the dungeon. But because she wasn't here, I thought it was Brandon had the idea, and I thought that makes sense. I'll come up with a reason, and it just so happened I didn't plan for this ahead of time. It just so happened she was in Albion's body, and so whisking her away to Finn made the most sense.
Yeah, it was
because the body
super
has the
smart.
bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah, the moment she disappeared, I was like, "Oh, that's so smart. That's so smart."